Hi, I'm Lyle Paps, and this is 4D concepts for 3D people. Almost forgot the title there. Alright, it's been a little while since I did a video, since I did that first video. I listened to it, remembered where I was supposed to pick off with archetypes, so I think I'll start there. The basis of archetype, working off of the electromagnetic standard, as to say that everything around us without our pineal perception is electromagnetic static, essentially an electromagnetic code. It's very much up to interpretation. Every single mind takes it differently, right? I talked a little bit about that last time with color and perception of our own Maya reality. So anyways, I want to take it a bit further, and I want to show you some examples. These examples were generated from an instance where me and my girlfriend were doing paintings, and it just so happened that we were sort of reading the same concept. We weren't looking at each other's paintings at all. We were painting across from each other. But this is a fantastic instance of archetype. So this is the painting that I did. It's not very good, but anyways, if you break it down, you can just look at it and figure everything out. But essentially, some of the things I want to draw your attention to is the character here with its arms extended outwards, the bird here, and this red flaming shape here. So anyways, this is, I could go and explain everything in this picture, but it would take so long. So just as a general outline, I don't know, up in here, for example, this this is 3 mountains, but I later realized that the markings, I had intuitively drawn some markings. There's a 90-degree angle there, and then 2 45s. I later learned from a book that I had gotten that I was talking about these, okay, there are sacred mountains. If you look into this, there are sacred mountains that correspond to the 3 steps of Shiva. These mountains are characterized by the fact that they are 3 mountains in a complete triangle. So these triangles can be isosceles, they can be right triangle, but yeah, that's just essentially what I was referencing. This picture came out of a sort of trance state. Anyways, I think I'll show you my girlfriend's now in comparison. So if you look at these side by side, you can tell that the coloring schemes are very similar, and there are very similar outlines at the same time. If you look really closely, you can see how there is a I got all sorts of stuff popping up on my screen. You can see a person sprawled out with its arms extended through here. We've got the head here, and if you cross-analyze the pictures, you see that the head is connecting up to the Psychosylvan mountain, but there's also, I drew this intentionally, an explosion coming from the crown chakra of the character that I had drawn. Actually, now that I've really looked at this and done a little bit more investigation into shamanism, this is a wonderful depiction of the overworld and the underworld, and if you were to look into things like that, you would understand what I mean. I think I'll talk about shamanistic trance in the next video. But I'll just give you one more look at these. If you even want to just pause it and take a look yourself and see everything together and try and figure it all out. There you go. Anyways, yeah, that is my example of archetype. My explanation that I have pretty much generated for this is that we were sitting in the same proximity, we were reading the same sort of energy, whether it was coming off of me which is possible because the image that I drew was much more clarified. Then my girlfriend was picking off resonant energy from what I was doing. She had completely different intentions in her painting. It just so happened that everything turned out to be quite similar. So anyways, archetype does extend into pretty much every single portion of life. And I'm just explaining this to sort of eradicate the sense of folly that people have behind things like these interpretable meanings, because people feel that as soon as you do something so strange that it must be nonsense. But at the same time, even though my drawing very well could have been nonsense, and that's not the subject that we're talking about right now, yeah, if you want to tell me that it's nonsense, go right ahead. But at the same time, we have a very, very similar painting in the other one in a almost near isolated instance, because to be honest, we were just sitting around doing our own thing, music in our ears, wine kicking, whatever. So yeah, take a look at that, go over it a few times, see if you can pick out the similarities. I constantly still look at them and pick out newer and newer things as my understanding expands. And I find it very interesting that I end up drawing things that I don't quite understand. Shit, actually looking at it, I just sort of figured something else out, but that is something I'm not willing to talk about right now. It'll come with my explanation of trance work. Okay, but I think that's a very good minimalistic approach to archetype, and I'll call it a day there, because that's 6 minutes and no one really wants to watch too long of a video. Anyways, 40 concepts for 3D people, archetype. Next video I'm going to talk about shamanic trancing, and I'll probably explain that extra bit of the photo, show you exactly what it is. I've been documenting some of the different spirits that I've been seeing. My drawing's not the best, but I'm pretty much putting together an almanac. So yeah, cheers and namaste and all that. Have a good one.